Hello and welcome to the Morning Serve, brought to you by TikTok. I'm Emma Lawrence, joined by Alicia Molik. Alicia, massive day of women's semis coming up. But before we get into that, let's just talk for a moment about Karen Khachanov and this incredible form. Made the semis at the US Open and he's backed it up with another semi-final appearance. He said he's had to almost reinvent himself. What changes have you noticed?
Yeah, look, I think now is his time because I think he has not just the belief but the maturity to match it up, and I think he's playing more aggressive now. He's always been a brilliant baseliner, incredible returner, but now I'm finding that he's using his chip a bit more. He's trying to get to net. He does possess great skill level at the net, so he's gone ahead in leaps and bounds. I really like the guy. I love his demeanour on court too. So that's what I love about Karen Khachanov. And look, he's definitely one of my favourites in the men's.
Do you think a lot of it is confidence? Because he's had so many ups and downs, but that US semi last year, did that just change his whole confidence and belief in himself?
Yeah, I think the other thing that's changed his confidence is that Rafa's out.
Yeah, that's
Roger's
true.
no longer here. Andy was here, but he's out. You know, a lot of the guys who have dominated men's tennis over the course of the last 15 years, apart from Novak, and he, by the way, has been under a injury cloud. He did dispel that. But I think for a lot of the younger guys and emerging potential Grand Slam champions like a Khachanov, that does put a bit of a pep in their step too. The opportunities there, they have more of a chance in breaking through these draws. A lot of players are vulnerable with injuries. We saw Porter go out, Auger Aliassime as well. I thought was a favourite here. So the opportunities there now for Khachanov. I really feel like this can be his time.
So up against Tsitsipas, if you had to pick a winner then, are you still going with the favourites in Tsitsipas?
Oh, look, Stefanos was really clean the other night, and I'm loving the way that he's really tackling his tennis. He has Mark Philippoussis alongside his father within his coaching team. And I think we're seeing a much more calmer Stefanos. I love the way he uses his forehand. I don't think anyone can get through that part of his game, and just incredible serving under pressure. And he's really embraced these crowds here at Melbourne Park at the Australian Open, hasn't he? He said it's his home slam. It kind of is. He's got the Aussie slang happening, so I'm really liking his calm nature. But he had a great prep, let's not forget. A number of matches in the United Cup, a lot of mixed doubles with Maria Sakkari too. So has had a lot of match practice.
Let's get stuck into the women's semi-finals. And what a story this is. Victoria Azarenka, 10 years since she last won. She lifted the trophy in 2012 and 2013. Can you believe she's back here?
I think she's playing better than when she won her couple of titles here at the Australian Open. She's playing for more. We all know now she is a mother, and I think the appreciation too when you're out of the game, and she's been out with a couple of injuries in the past, but for a longer period of time through the birth of her son and raising a young family, and I think she's embracing every moment that she has on centre court. She's beefed up her game. That's the biggest difference I saw with her. She's put in a big pre-season because there's no question she's getting a lot more on the ball than any other years. She's playing more aggressively. And what a match it was against her great mate in Jessica Pegula, and she really did dispose of her quite comfortably.
You spent many years on tour. You're now also a mother, but can you imagine what it would be like trying to juggle both at the same time?
No, I can't, but it's become the norm now, and there are a lot more players, how wonderful for women, for young girls to know that you can combine family and top-level sport. And in a way, I really feel like the players that do now have children, that it keeps them level. It probably perhaps takes the limelight off a lot of the tough losses in sport, because there's always something to occupy your mind. But for Victoria Azarenka, quite remarkable that she's back and better than ever.
So you're saying, in a sense, it can help you mentally, because once you leave here, you know that it's not just about tennis. There are things that are a lot more important when you go home, like family.
Yeah, you've got clothes to wash, you've got bedtime stories to read, you know, you've got to keep the kids entertained, you've got to get dinner ready, think about breakfast, you know, all the things and distractions, and that's the fine balance for tennis players, isn't it? They need to be in the moment, they need to be revved up for their matches, but then there's the balance of having, you know, relax and unwind time and taking your mind off the game. But what a competitor she is, and she's never lost that, Victoria Azarenka. So phenomenal performance for her so far to get to the semis. She's just getting started.
As you mentioned, we're seeing it more and more, but do you think the WTA or the Australian Open, all the tournaments around the world, are providing enough support for the mothers, or do you think there's still more we could be doing to encourage more women to realise that they can do both.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job. There's a wonderful, wonderful crash here at the Australian Open. Many other events do run, I guess, kids clinics for parents that do have children. Transportation. There's always vehicles and transportation cars and buses that are equipped with the baby seats and the capsules and then the child seat. So the tournaments embrace it. There's a space for kids, and I think it's fantastic now. We've seen a lot of men, by the way, travel with their children. They don't need to take time out of their careers to continue to play, and so it's fantastic to see. I think the numbers are growing in the women's space because women are playing a lot longer now. So they should be able to combine family and then continue with their professional careers in sport.
Well, Azarenka certainly is a great role model up against Rybakina, who won Wimbledon. Can you see her going on to become the world number one if she continues this form?
Oh, look, it's going to be a blockbuster match. Rybakina has an incredible disposition on court, always really calm. Plays a huge game. You never quite know what she's feeling because she doesn't give anything away, even if she's playing exceptional tennis. Of course, we've got to remember she didn't get the points from last year at Wimbledon and really has steamrolled her way into the women's semi-final. So I'm really impressed by that young woman, but it's going to be a difficult match, though, against Victoria Azarenka. It's going to be incredible.
Coming into the Australian Open, there was a lot of talk about the fact we had no Ash Barty, no Serena, no Naomi Osaka, and question marks about the quality of tennis. But is it fair to say that we haven't lost anything in the quality? We've seen such great matches still, haven't we?
We have, and look, it's really open at the same time. I think when the big seeds and players fall, it creates that excitement amongst the rest of the draw. So, we're going to have a new champion here unless it is Vika Azarenka. But women's tennis is largely open. Swiatek has filled Ash Barty's shoes quite well, but it just goes to show that this is anyone's game. So really exciting to see what the result will be here in the women's draw in the final.
Well, just before we get stuck into this second semi-final, it is time for our TikTok moment of the day, and it was Stefanos Tsitsipas who had a little bit of a call-out for Aussie actress Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, Australia is such a great country. I like a lot of Aussie things, One of my favorite actresses comes from Australia, Margot Robbie. I wish I can...
Margot Robbie? Are you pitching right now? What's happening?
Am I what?
Pitching? Are you making an offer? What are we seeing here?
It would be nice to see her over there one day.
Okay. So you're officially extending an invitation to Margot Robbie. I just want to be crystal clear here.
Absolutely.
Stefanos, he's doing anything to get the Aussie crowd involved, isn't he?
Yeah, look here, the Aussie slang. He's working with his coach, Mark Philippoussis. He's got a few, Sablaki's recipes named after him. So is Maria Sakkari, by the way. But I think he loves playing here. He loves the crowd support. He also mentioned, though, the conditions are really similar to what he experiences at home. So good on him. He's embracing it. I think she's taken, though.
Yeah, I believe she is, but good on him for... he got the crowd involved, that is for sure, and everyone's talking about it. Headlines everywhere. But anyway, the women's semi-final, the second one, this is going to be a cracker as well. Magda Linette, 30 years old, had never even made it past the third round of a Grand Slam. Where has this form come from, do you think?
Well, she's always been a great player, Magda Linette, and more importantly, a real tough competitor. And she's shown that, and she's incredibly level on the court with her disposition and demeanour. She's playing more aggressively, and it's amazing. Players go along through their careers and think they're nearly good enough, but it's a big difference when they truly believe they belong amongst the best, and they have the chance to beat the best players in the world too. I mean, could it be that amazing Cinderella underdog story? We've seen plenty of those in Rybakina, in Emma Raducanu as well. It would be kind of nice as well to see one of the senior players taste victory too. So brilliant for the poll. She had Aga Radwanska in her box, so certainly she'd be drawing some inspiration from her past successes, and Swiatek, of course, as well, another good friend of hers.
It's going to be tough up against Sabalenka. Has this been her best slam so far, or has her form been the best that you've seen?
Yeah, I've watched a number of the Sabalenka matches. I think she can still tidy up her serve a little bit. That's probably the area that was to her detriment in past years, but she's serving well. She's really confident. I'm impressed by the way she's retrieving. She plays a massive game, so much power. She hits her forehand the same speed, or she has been in the past matches, as Berrettini. He's the quickest forehand speed on the men's tour at 100, averaging 130 k's an hour. Sabalenka, this Australian Open, has been matching that pace of
Crazy.
forehand. So just goes to show how damaging she is with her game. She's imposing, she's tall, she's moving well, so absolutely no gaps in her game.
You mentioned the serve. She's improved it. I know you said there's still room to work on it, but given she was struggling so much, and that can be something that really gets in your head and affects you mentally, how tough is it to park that and be able to get through that and improve and focus when you know you've really struggled with one particular area of your game?
She's improved it, and she's spent countless hours. She's got experts in and analysts in, so she's done the work.
Yeah.
So I think she can rest easy in terms of knowing that she's put all the hard work in. Her double fault numbers are still up there, but I think by the quality of her first shot, how big she plays off the ground, she can afford to throw in a couple of double faults. But she's looking much better technically. It's a lot more free flowing, less disjointed with her take back. So I'm really loving seeing her serve, and no question one of the best servers on the women's tour.
She's been probably more outspoken than some others on the flag drama. Do you think she's someone that might use that as motivation at all?
Yeah, well, she said the other day, look, it's what the crowd wants. I want people to come watch me and feel incredibly comfortable. So I don't mind what happens or what flags they raise or fly or don't fly. And, she's a great role model for women's tennis. A lot of young players want to be like her. And she wants it solely, the focus to be on tennis, like every single other professional in the draw. And that's what it's been about here at the Australian Open, is the high quality tennis. It's been amazing for the fans, brilliant weather, so it's going to be really exciting.
And if I'm going to put you on the spot and you have to tip the final for the 2023 Australian Open, it will be?
Look, I'm probably going to go with Sabalenka. She's impressed me.
She's been incredible. So many storylines to be written, but as we've already seen, there have been plenty of upsets. Anything can happen. Alicia, really appreciate your time, and as always, we really appreciate your company here on The Morning Serve, thanks to TikTok.